Hi, YouTube. It's Angela. We're going to talk today about pulling up courage from within to shift the way that we are experiencing certain situations or experiencing our energy here. So I'm pulling our oracles from the Native Spirit deck by Denise, Linn, and then clarifying that with my Zen Tarot deck. I've pulled these cards already. Then at the end, I might pull a few more from the Zen deck just to, give us a, cap off to the reading. But I love the way these aligned. They came out in order, and then the Zen cards came out in order as well, but backwards. It was really weird. So I found that it matched up and then it went backwards from there. So we're going to start with the leadoff card, which is Warrior of the Heart. This is our willingness to let courage sort of fill up our heart space, to start by honoring your truth and making sure you're living that from your inner being out, speaking up where you need to. This isn't an aggressive move. I know that warrior gives us sort of an aggressive connotation to that energy, but I'm feeling it's more power, internal power, than aggression, or this is what I think and you have to go and fight people about it. It's more your own huge sense of self-awareness and confidence that you can build up from within. Having courage doesn't mean it's without fear, right? Fearless, right? But it doesn't mean to be crumbled in by your fear, and it's fearless, right? So that I love this lead off, because sometimes we work on, balancing our energy intuitively, pulling off and being a little more internal or gentle about things, and creating a space where you allow things to happen. And this is kind of saying, okay, yeah, you've created a space with your balance and your meditations and your pulling in, but now in that space, let it fill up with your own voice. Let your full sense of being fill that space that is available. The Zen card that I pulled to go with that Warrior of the Heart, funny that they're both kind of snow, is isolation. So this is kind of the same vibration, but this is more of that feeling that you've sort of severed yourself. You've disconnected and created a wall around yourself that keeps others from really being in full awareness of your needs, your values, your truth, right? You just kind of hold that within and you're not really speaking it out, like is guided by the Warrior Heart card. But in this card, in the isolation, see, holding it in and not speaking up and not clarifying who you are, what your needs are to others around you in your waking world, creates a sense of separateness. It ices you out, it keeps others out, and it keeps you protected maybe, but there's no connection there. And the way to melt that ice, if you see, is this guy here is showing emotion. He's crying, he's showing who he is, and that creates a sense of melting that ice and releasing that barrier that was there between you and others. So it may be time for some of you to speak up and show up for yourself and about yourself. Then the next set of cards I pulled is interesting. I pulled Spirit Keeper of the West. And this is that vibration of sort of the setting sun, completion of a cycle, also letting things go, letting them fall away to create room for the new day that's coming, right? So in this quest, right, to shore up our courage, to speak our truth and be more external about who we are and what our needs are. In that experience, it may require us to let go of some things, right? Old ideas, old connections. This doesn't have to be cleaning house and get rid of it all so I can start fresh. It's just a matter of, releasing something to make room for the next, right? Making room for what you want to build on to come through. And then the Zen card I pulled with that is clinging to the past. So it's reminding us, wake up, let things go, let some of that past stuff go. If it's past, grudges, if it's past habits that we have of just being like a yes person and a pleaser, and I don't, I'll forego what my needs are in order to keep everybody else happy. The warrior of the heart is kind of saying, yeah, that's not going to work anymore. It's time to really show up in the full sense of who you are. And to do that, we need to sometimes make space by letting go of old beliefs, paradigms, situations, people, let go of the old. So yeah, and in that clinging to the past card, if we've talked about this before, if you're familiar with my channel, but this figure here is caught up in her box of memories, right? The box is like firmly on her head. She's just wallowing in that and all of the things that happened in the past and brought her, maybe sometimes brought her joy, maybe sometimes brought her grief, but just stuck there instead of this kind of vibration of creating new. And what she's missing out on by being shielded, by being caught up in her memories, is all this sort of sparkly, beautiful world and bright light that's around her right here in the present. And she's missing it because she's not able to let that go. So in the spirit of the spirit keeper of the West, yeah, it's time to release some old energies and make room for new. The next set of cards I got is, I love this too. Of course, I love them all. Medicine woman, medicine man. And this is talking about healing. We have the power to heal. We are healers, every one of us. And, from the inside out, our emotional, physical, mental, spiritual selves can be repaired when we call attention to where the wounds are or where our healing needs to take place. And if we are, truly in that warrior of the heart, then we acknowledge where our wounds are. The warrior doesn't mean he's just brave and strong and never gets hurt, right? The wounds are there. And that's sometimes what makes us better healers, is that we carry the wounds. We've experienced certain things and we can be there to help heal, to help others heal, to help ourselves heal more completely. More rapidly sometimes. So incorporate those experiences and the knowledge, sort of like, your medicine bag, incorporate that into your next thing, like you're coming out, you're opening up, or whatever that came through for you when you saw the warrior of the heart. For me, this is an external situation, right? It's not happens to not be, although the work starts within. But the change that I want to see by incorporating this courage and this honoring myself is in my external world. So, but in order to do that, we have to heal within and heal, other maybe old connections and, energies that are within us that have kind of remained stagnant. And then with that, I pulled transformation. So this is where the healing is. This is where the healing takes place, right? And it starts with you, within you, what you've learned so far, the way you've learned to move through certain situations with more ease than others, right? Take that as a guiding factor. Take less of this sort of deeper, clinging, pulled in, cut off energy, and, release it and find a way to move forward in your path. And then the last set of cards I pulled is Freedom Horse. Yeah, this is moving beyond your sort of limitations that you've placed on yourself, the things that you've created that have put you here, in the limiting space, move beyond that. Really, almost go wild with your expansion. And, remember, it started with that shoring up the courage. It started with that letting your heart space be filled with courage and speaking your truth and honoring who you are. Now you get to take off and kind of express it out to the world and become that truth that you've been working on. With that, I pulled New Vision. This is perfect. This is a perfect card to go with this. This is why when I was pulling them, I pulled Warrior, Spirit Keeper of the West. I pulled them in that order, and then I started pulling the Zens. I was like, oh, this needs to go with the last card. And then we went backwards and they all lined up. So New Vision, this is setting your sights on that expansion, on that, maybe sometimes it feels far away achievement, but set your sights on it. And then with your, that sort of wild sense of who you are that you've established through this process, use that energy to move you forward, right? We had, so just to recap, we had, build up that courage from within, let go of old energies that aren't helping anymore, transform them and heal from the inside out, and then go off, go wild, and let yourself, let your freedom show through. So let me just pull a couple of cards now to sort of cap this off. I'm going to do a quick 3-card spread using the Zen Tarot cards and see where that goes. I love it. All right. So yeah, I got integration. This is great because this is after this inner work that we're doing, and we're working on our heart space and our honoring ourself and our truth, and then releasing the old things, right? We get to now sort of reassemble the parts we're left with, right? After this release happens and the healing and the expansion is beginning. It make sure we reassemble the integration, integrity, right? It's making sure that everything you speak, everything that you think, and the action that you take are all aligned from that heart space, that inner space that connects to exactly who you are, that connects to your truth, and letting all of that be honored, and all those energies be combined together. Then I got creativity. What a great place to create from is once you have that inner alignment, you're clarifying sort of your own energies and knowing this is what's right for me. We don't have to, like I said earlier, we don't have to burst out with, I said I need this, or, someone else has an idea that differs from what aligns with you. It doesn't have to be, no, you're wrong. It's just a matter of that's not for me, or yeah, that sounds like it's aligned with what I need and what I desire. It's more checking in internally first and making sure everything's aligned, like with that integrative energy, checking in first and then acting from there. And the creativity card comes, after the integration, because creating from a place of alignment is the most powerful way, right? It's the most honest. It's through and through who you are. Creativity is just an expression of your own self. And this creativity does not have to mean I'm creating a new project, I'm creating a new business, I'm, giving birth and creating life, or this could also mean just I'm shifting the way I interact in this world. I'm shifting the way I, first of all, interact with myself within, and then I'm shifting this to a new way. I'm creating a new way to go about it. And then the final card there in that spread is the Rebel. This is your, we've pulled this one a few times. This is your unapologetic self. This is you, sort of busting out the chains that are holding you down, and sort of, with that isolation energy. It's kind of like, yeah, no, I'm not going to play small anymore. I'm just going to lead with what's right for me. He's carrying his own torch, you know, he's got wings on his back. He's actually a bird on his shoulder, but the wings will help him, you know, proceed forward. And this is your sense of, here I am. I'm showing up as my full self. And some of you may not agree with it. Some of you may not jive with it, but that's fine. You know, I'm not going to, like I said, make myself smaller or move in a backwards way in order to, you know, let you contain your own happiness, let you stay happy with me. It's like, this is the new version of me, and you're kind of getting what you get. But that journey of really letting it start with this sense of courage. This was a powerful opening card, because a lot of us think of courage as you know, needing to be aggressive, or needing to, you know, fight for what we want. And that's just not what this reading is saying. It's saying there's a natural power that rests within you and within your heart that you can, you know, activate, that you can check in with and activate and create from there. Is this natural sense of empowerment that doesn't have to override others. It doesn't have to be aggressive and create conflict with others, but that just is yours to own. Right? Love it. So I love how this reading came out. Let me know if you do too. And until next week, Heart Warriors, I'll see you soon.